Hey folks, John Ferguson Smart here. You know, when I first got involved in testing, I used to put a lot of effort into reporting defects, into categorizing defects, into figuring out what areas of an application were dysfunctional, that didn't work, classing defects in different categories by severity, by priority, all of that, doing statistics on the problems that an application had. And I was quite good at it. But after a while, I realized that that is actually not the most effective way of improving quality. That is not the best way to actually deliver better software at the end of the day. Because it's very hard to inject quality after a product's been delivered. You can look at a product and say, right, this is rubbish, go back and fix it. But that wastes a lot of time. Don't you think it is much easier, much more effective, much faster if you actually get ahead of the game and try and figure out ways of preventing those defects from happening in the first place? Now that is the fundamental concept behind the whole idea of left shifting, where we do try and get involved earlier on, but it's been around for a lot longer than that. It's been around since, well, a very long time. This idea that if you can work beforehand to articulate what you need to do, to collaborate so that everyone has a clear understanding of what needs to happen, and then do everything you can to make that deliverable, then when the project is actually running its course, when people are working on their day-to-day jobs, it makes it much easier to know that you are going to be delivering something that works, that will make the customer happy, and that will not be full of defects. So this is a practical outcome that I found. If you collaborate early on, if you work together, if you spend your time more on communicating with other team members early on, rather than analyzing defects that are coming out of the other end, you will save a heap of time. You almost put yourself out of the job as a tester in some regards if you think of testing as merely checking the outcomes and checking the results, because the defects just melt away, but you end up in a much more satisfying position. So why don't you give that a go? Try and shift away from analyzing the outcomes, analyzing the defects that you see in a product, and try and think about how you could prevent those defects, how you could talk to your team members, how you could collaborate earlier on to stop those defects happening in the first place. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Thanks for listening, folks.